The Spanish conquistadors thought they'd conquer your civilization in a few months. They had guns, steel armor, horses, and the arrogance of men who just toppled the Aztec Empire in 2 years. That was in 1527. It's now 1697 to 1700 years later, and the last independent Maya city still hasn't fallen. Your grandfather fought them. Your father fought them. Now, it's your turn. And here's what the history books won't tell you. The Maya didn't lose because they were weaker. You lost because an enemy arrived that couldn't be fought with obsidian blades or tactical genius. But before that invisible killer came, you made the Spanish bleed for every inch of jungle. Let's see how long you'd survive fighting the most brutal conquest in the Americas. You're standing on the limestone pyramid in your city of Champoton, watching Spanish ships appear on the horizon. It's 1517, and these are the first Europeans your people have ever seen. Your war chief, Mokuo, gathers the warriors. Nobody knows what's coming. The Spanish land. About 100 men in strange metal shells step onto the beach. They're led by a man named Francisco Hernandez de Cordoba, and they want water, food, and gold. Your people have plenty of the first two. The third, gold, is decorative, not valuable. You use jade and cacao beans as currency. These strangers are obsessed with the wrong metal. Mokuo refuses their demands. The Spanish get aggressive, start grabbing supplies. That's when he gives the order. The attack comes at dawn. Your forces number around 2,000 warriors against their 100. The math seems easy. It's not. You see your first gun fired in combat, and the sound alone is traumatic. A crack of thunder, smoke, and a warrior 20 feet from you drops with a hole in his chest. But here's what the Spanish didn't expect. Maya warriors aren't afraid of new technology. You adapt. Your fighters use atlatl spear throwers that can hurl projectiles with incredible force. Cotton armor, 3 fingers thick and soaked in salt water. That's surprisingly effective against early Spanish crossbows and even some sword strikes. And most importantly, you know this terrain like the veins in your hand. The battle lasts hours. You kill over 50 Spanish soldiers. Cordoba himself takes 10 arrow wounds and will die from infections weeks later. The Spanish retreat to their ships and flee. Your city celebrates. You just defeated the invaders. But Mokuo, your war chief, doesn't celebrate. He's seen their weapons. He knows they'll come back with more. He's right. They always come back 10 years later. It's 1527. The Spanish return under Francisco de Montejo, who's been granted permission by the Spanish crown to conquer Yucatan. He expects to do what Cortés did to the Aztecs: find a capital, capture the leader, rule the empire. There's one problem: you don't have an empire. The Maya civilization consists of dozens of independent city-states. Some are allies, some are enemies, some ignore each other completely. Conquer one city, and you've conquered one city. The others keep fighting. This decentralized structure becomes your greatest defensive advantage. Montejo lands with 400 men. Your city decides to resist. Others decide to negotiate. Some play both sides, waiting to see who wins. This isn't a unified resistance. It's chaos. But chaos favors defenders who know the land. The Spanish have advantages that seem insurmountable. Horses, which you've never seen before and initially mistake for deer. Human hybrids, steel swords that can shatter your obsidian weapons, armor that your arrows struggle to penetrate, and those terrifying guns. But you have advantages too. Jungle warfare is your specialty. The Spanish wear 40 to 50 pounds of metal armor in 95-degree heat with 80% humidity. They march in formation like they're in Europe. You strike from the trees, from behind rocks, from underground caves, then vanish. Spanish reports from this period describe constant ambushes, warriors appearing like phantoms and disappearing before they can retaliate. Your weapons, while less advanced, are deadly in skilled hands. The atlatl can throw a dart hard enough to pierce Spanish armor at close range. Your bows fire faster than Spanish crossbows. And you have something they desperately fear: poison Maya warriors coat arrow tips and blade edges with toxins extracted from local plants and animals. One particularly nasty poison comes from the skin of poison dart frogs, causing paralysis and agonizing death. Spanish chronicles describe soldiers screaming for days after being hit by poison projectiles. You're in a battle near the city of Chetumal when you see it happen. A Spanish soldier takes an arrow to the leg. Minor wound. He's laughing about it, pulling the arrow out. 2 hours later, he's convulsing. By nightfall, he's dead. His companions are terrified because they don't understand what killed him. Fear is a weapon. By 1535, Montejo has been fighting for 8 years. He's failed. The Spanish abandoned their first conquest attempt and retreat. You've won, right? Not exactly. They regroup and return in 1540 with a new strategy: permanent settlements, alliances with rival Maya cities, and a brutal scorched earth policy. Your war chief calls a council. The debate is fierce. Do you negotiate or fight to the death? Some cities choose negotiation, accepting Spanish rule in exchange for keeping local governance. Your city chooses resistance. This is where the war becomes truly brutal. The Spanish start burning crop fields, poisoning wells, and executing not just warriors, but entire populations of cities that resist. In 1541, they destroy the city of Champaton. Yes, the same city that defeated Córdoba 24 years earlier, killing thousands. But here's what keeps you fighting. The Spanish keep dying too. Not from battle, from disease. European diseases spread both ways. Spanish soldiers die from tropical fevers, parasites, infected wounds. Montejo's son, Francisco de Montejo el Mozo, leads the renewed conquest, and his casualty reports are devastating. 40 to 60% losses, not from combat, but from illness and starvation. You're using guerrilla tactics that won't be formally theorized for another 400 years. You avoid large battles. You attack supply lines. You target stragglers. You make every mile of jungle cost Spanish lives. In 1546, the Great Maya Revolt erupts. Multiple city-states coordinate for Maya politics and launch simultaneous attacks on Spanish settlements. You're part of a force that lays siege to the Spanish colonial capital of Mérida, nearly destroying it. The revolt fails, but barely. The Spanish survive by forming alliances with rival Maya groups, the classic colonial tactic of divide and conquer. Some Maya cities hate each other more than they hate the Spanish, and that division is lethal.